Day 18 of 20 Days of Ghosts.
Hi, welcome back to 18 Days of 20 Days of Ghosts. I have been really having a fun journey traveling virtually all over the world finding ghosts and haunted places these past 18 days. And I thought you might want to hear about my own experiences with hauntings. I thought I would start at the beginning. I grew up in a small fishing village, mining, logging town on the northernmost tip of Vancouver Island. So if you're from Beauharty, give me a hi. And the community, although not particularly old, was established in an area that has Aboriginal history dating back centuries. So there are strange and unexplainable happenings all over the island which could be attributed to the long history that existed prior to settlers creating communities there. My house was built to accommodate the growing population of miners looking to relocate to the area in the 1970s. So our family were the second occupants of our particular house. My dad was a blaster, or better known as an explosive technician, and he found employment at the local copper mine, so he was set up with an available home to purchase built specifically for the influx of workers coming to the area at that time. So our house was not terribly old. It was built in the 70s. However, it became apparent that it was not only occupied by my family, but by something or someone who was not of this world. Now, as a child, I would experience feelings of unease when in the basement specifically, a feeling of being watched. And we had this plastic covering on our carpet steps up by the front entrance that was placed to protect the carpet from mud, etc. But you always knew when someone was walking up the stairs because it sounded very specific. When people would walk on the plastic, it sounded kind of sticky. So I would often hear the steps of someone coming up the stairs, only to find out when I would look that no one was there, that no one would appear. And this happened often. So doors in the hallway would also slam shut forcefully on their own regularly, and when I would bring it up to my mom, she would dismiss it as it's the wind, or although there's no windows open, when I would go and investigate to see if that were true. I never had the feeling that this was a malevolent entity, meaning that it would do me harm, nor did I feel like it was benevolent either. It wasn't there to be doing good things for me, like bringing me cake, but it just sort of was there, cohabitating the space with us. And I had this strange feeling that this entity was male, although I have no evidence or proof to present. It was just my gut feeling. And I think children can often see through the veil to the spirit world better than most adults may be. So why I perceive this is maybe because I was a child at the time. Sometimes I would imagine that this person was the spirit of a departed Aboriginal man whose body had fallen from the grave in the trees, which was a common practice hundreds of years ago for the first coastal peoples. They would build cedar boxes or platforms to place their dead and then hang them up in the cedar trees for their death ceremonies. And over time, the boxes would decay and the remains would fall to the ground. And my whole community was situated on the ancestral grounds of these people, so the idea would not be totally unheard of as being a possibility. That, I have no evidence of this, however, it's just a feeling that that was the story of this person that lived in my house. But once again, no evidence of that. We didn't find bones or anything like that. Growing up in a haunted house was not like you would imagine it to be. I didn't feel terrorized or afraid at most of the time. I definitely had moments of unease and moments of confusion over some of the unexplained events that took place where I called home. But I would have to say that it was just life with a ghost, I would love to hear your experiences with being in a haunted place or space. So tell me in the comments and stay tuned for more haunted stories and experiences and places.